and welcome to the 2025 Halloween episode of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
Here's what's coming up in today's show. This week's Y-Files, we're reminding you why dairy is scary.
Oh, so many reasons. In our Noteworthy segment, we'll tell you all about the Vegan Street Humane Halloween e-cookbook that's packed with fun, spooky-themed recipes. We'll also tell you how you can get yours for free.
And in our main topic, we're taking a look at the new updated chocolate list from Food Empowerment Project.
Awesome.
Just in time for your vegan Halloween candy shopping. But before we get into all that, what sort of spooky things have we been up to?
Really, we haven't been too terribly spooky.
Well, that was a disappointment.
I'm sorry. I feel like it is my responsibility to tell the truth and to not mislead people as to the degree of spookiness with which we are living our lives right now.
The world is pretty spooky right now.
Yes, but however, are not.
In terms of what sort of spooky, fun things have we been getting into, not a whole lot. No. I do have a little lit pumpkin. I put up some tiny little ghost lights.
Yes.
They're fun.
They are super cute.
And I've been looking we have a couple other Halloween decorations that I can't find. Well, when I say I can't find them, it means I don't want to dig through Christmas bins looking for them.
Yeah,
because
it's just
I know,
a little early for that.
Yeah, they got mixed in with the Christmas stuff. And I'm like, I couldn't deal with it.
That's fine.
But we don't get any kids in our neighborhood. I think we mentioned that in previous episodes. So, it's minimal indoor Halloween decorating.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So that's what we've been up to.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, it's just been, this is the crazy time of the fall semester.
Yeah.
I just found out last Wednesday that I'm going to New York this Wednesday for a recruitment event. So I'm going to be hanging out on the train from Buffalo to New York City on Wednesday, and then I'll be coming home on Thursday. That's a lot of traveling in a really short time frame. Of course, Halloween proper, or as I like to call it, Samhain, which is also pagan New Year, is coming up on Friday, which we are super excited for. And we will be celebrating at Christine's nephew's because, as Christine mentioned, we don't have trick-or-treaters in our neighborhood. In fact, we are the young end of the people who live in this neighborhood. So we're heading to a neighborhood where there are, in fact, kids. So that's what we've got going for our Halloween.
Yeah. As far as we know, anyway.
Yeah.
Things could change.
They do.
Things could get spooky at any moment.
This is true.
But with all that said, let's jump into this week's Y-Files.
So in this week's Y-Files, we're going to take a quick look at Viva's current Scary Dairy campaign. Now, at the center of this campaign is a rather cinematic ad, which we're going to play in just a moment or two. But we did talk about this ad in a previous episode.
We did. We talked about how it was being banned by certain organizations in the UK. They were showing the ad in theaters, and I guess they got one or two complaints, and so they tried to ban the ad. So we're going to listen to the ad. I'll link to the ad so that you can watch it for yourself. We'll talk about that, and then we'll move on to what Viva has mapped out as reasons why dairy is scary.
What have you done with my baby?
You can't keep your baby because we want your milk.
Almost every dairy calf is taken from their mother shortly after birth, so most of her milk can be sold to us. And what do you think happens to thousands of male babies like this one?
So, effective? Yes. Slightly disturbing? Yes. I think it does all of the things that it was supposed to do, but there is no, you don't see a baby in this ad anywhere. You see
right at the beginning.
Right, but you don't see the baby after all the scary stuff starts happening.
Oh, no. So we don't see anything happen to the baby. You know, the young mother puts her baby down in his crib for the evening and turns out the light. And in the time that she turns out the light, a scary-looking, balding gentleman in a suit.
Kind of Voldemort-y looking
Yeah,
dude.
A little bit, with far worse teeth than Voldemort ever had. Winds up next to the crib, and the baby has just disappeared.
Right.
And so the mother asks, what did you do with my baby? And he very simply says, you can't keep it because we want your milk.
Yeah.
I think this is a spectacularly successful ad. Yeah. I actually love it. I mean, yes, it's a little unnerving.
It
yes,
should be.
It's a little creepy, but it needs to be.
Yeah, because people don't, the one thing about dairy is people don't realize the cruelty behind dairy.
No, they don't.
They don't see it.
No, of course not.
And I'm talking about non-vegan people. Most vegans are well versed in why dairy is scary. But I think this ad really pounds home why dairy is such a cruel
industry.
Such a cruel industry is because they take the babies away from the mothers. And the reason we have milk is because cows are mothers and they produce milk.
That's right.
After being forcibly impregnated
yes.
over and over again.
Yes.
And then their offspring are taken from them so that humans can consume the milk that's meant for their calves.
That's right. Daily, dairy calves are taken from their mothers shortly after birth, so her milk can be sold to humans. And the fate of thousands of male calves, you can guess they wind up in the veal industry.
They do.
Because they are of no use to the dairy industry.
Yeah.
This is, of course, heartbreaking. In 2024 alone, 81,744 male dairy calves under 8 months old were killed. 49,204 in slaughterhouses and 32,540 on farms before they reached 2 months old, simply because they can't produce milk. These males are called by the industry the trash or unwanted byproducts of dairy. Viva's powerful cinema ad, Dairy is Scary, exposes this hidden cruelty. It is now showing nationwide across the UK. It reveals the suffering behind every glass of milk, from grieving mothers to the ruthless killing of male calves. And it is, of course, what the dairy industry doesn't want you to see.
It definitely is part of the dairy industry that they don't want you to see or know about. Like that article says, most farmers, they kill them. It's not worth it for them to feed and support these young calves. Mm-hmm. If they have the setup to do veal, then you'll see rows and rows of the small veal crates that they keep them in so that they don't move around very much.
Yeah, they're horrific.
And then they slaughter them at like 2 months or 3 months or something like that. Yeah, it's really horrific.
It really is. And now, of course, this is not the only scary thing about dairy.
No.
It's perhaps the worst thing about dairy, but there are other things to consider when we're talking about dairy.
Yeah.
So ditching dairy is one of the best things you can do for your health. Why? Because drinking milk past infancy isn't natural. Around 2/3 of the world's adults are lactose intolerant, clear proof that breast milk is for babies. Yet the dairy industry plays on our emotional attachment to milk, using clever marketing to convince us it's essential for strong bones and daily health. But it's not. Don't be fooled. Dairy companies are selling a product, not health advice. Remember, there was a time when even doctors promoted cigarettes. Industry-backed marketing can be powerful. But the truth is clear. We don't need dairy.
We don't. And it is one of the largest propaganda campaigns that's ever existed. the drink milk campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
There's lots of other reasons why dairy is scary. There's environmental impact.
Yes, absolutely. Dairy is one of the most water-heavy industries in the nation and around the world. So it does have an incredible impact on our water supply. It also, of course, the output of dairy cows, meaning manure, urine, and feces, all of that good stuff, seeps into the ground and gets into groundwater. So we have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah.
And of course, we all know about the impact of CFCs like methane and CO2, both of which cows produce a phenomenal amount of. And so they, of course, are contributing to global warming, which is contributing to so many of the environmental issues that our planet is dealing with right now.
Yeah. So like I said, I will link to the ad so you can watch it for yourself. And I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on it, because both Sam and I think it's a really impactful piece of film.
Oh, yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's move on to our Noteworthy segment. So in our Noteworthy segment, we're going to be talking about the Vegan Street Humane Halloween e-cookbook. And at the end of this segment, we'll tell you how you can get your own copy of this e-cookbook that is not available online anymore. This is a vegan antique.
It's an antique?
It is. It's 22 quirky, fun, and bewitching vegan recipes for the spirit of the season.
I love that.
Yes. And Vegan Street has completely redone their website, and this doesn't exist anymore. So I want all the work that was put into this by the people at Vegan Street to continue. So I wanted to be able to share it with you. And like I said, we'll tell you how you can get your own. It has lots of really fun graphics in it, along with the recipes.
They also include a spooky Halloween playlist, which is really kind of amazing.
Yeah, there's a spooky Halloween playlist so you can look these songs up and create your own Halloween playlist. And there's some really great ones. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman by the Tubes.
Nice.
Which I haven't heard that song in forever. And that I would never think to even add that to a Halloween playlist. And
The one that's jumping out at me immediately, of course, is Dead Man's Party by Oingo Boingo, which I'm sure I have not heard in 20 years, but I absolutely love that song.
Yeah. Pet Cemetery by the Ramones.
And of course, Don't Fear the Reaper. Classic.
Don't Fear the Reaper. Just a few, The Time Warp from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Outstanding.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Edmunds' The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
And of course, Donovan's Season of the Witch.
Yeah. There's, and more.
And many more.
And more and more.
I mean, Weird Al Yankovic's Nature Trail to Hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta love it.
The first recipe that they offer here is a smoky split pea soup called Reagan's Revenge. And that is an Exorcist reference. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen The Exorcist, you know why they would call smoky split pea soup Reagan's Revenge. What other recipes are on here?
Well, we've got Monster Mash, which is basically a version of guacamole and hummus combined, but it's made with edamame and cannellini beans. Mm-hmm. A whole bunch of spinach, garlic, nutritional yeast, lemon juice, avocado, chives, cayenne pepper, and salt and pepper.
Yeah, and then they garnish it with these really cute olive spiders that you can make. Yeah.
Adorable.
Yeah. Yummy Mummies.
Who doesn't want a yummy mummy?
Which are like these little personal pizzas that look like little mummies, and they use olives for the eyes.
Yes.
Really cute. I think kids would really enjoy making these.
Yeah.
It's just English muffins and a marinara and some vegan cheese cut into thin strips to look like, like mummy material.
The wrappings, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about the next offering, which is Frankentoast.
Yeah, I think we all need some Frankentoast.
I think we really do. So this is literally avocado toast, but some of the toppings have been put on in the shape of facial features. So you have a Frankenstein on top of your mashed avocado, and they are doing that with roasted red pepper, some olives, a little bit of hearts of palm, and nori.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
Really cute. herbed spaghetti squash that they're calling witch's hair.
Nice. They've got a ghoulish goulash.
I haven't had a goulash in a long time.
No, me either.
When I was a kid, goulash was really popular for some reason in the 70s. And I did not like goulash when I was a kid. And you would think, what's not to like? It's noodles and vegetables and like a gravy-ish kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like there's anything not to like.
But I remember being like, oh, not goulash again.
Okay, I am absolutely loving this recipe for a freaky eyeball pizza.
Where's the freaky eyeball pizza?
Well, keep on keeping on. Keep scrolling because what we've got, they even made it a bloodshot eye. This is hysterical. So you've got a round pizza dough with, of course, marinara sauce and mozzarella cheese. And the mozzarella cheese is being used as the white of the eye, of course. Now, to make the iris, they've used pesto, and then the pupil in the middle is a pile of black olives.
Yeah.
To make the eye bloodshot, they've used strips of red pepper throughout the white of the eye. And I just think this is really clever.
It is really clever.
Fun.
Yep. They have, what I thought were really cute, are the pumpkin peppers where you carve out bell pepper. You carve it out like a pumpkin and then you fill it with butternut squash, corn, and hominy chili.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we get into some beverages. We've got a witchy brew, which is sparkling cider, cranberry juice, and seltzer, which sounds delightful. We have a caramel apple smoothie. I'm not sure I would love caramel and apple in a smoothie.
Yeah, it might be too sweet. I don't know.
It might be. Like, I love those flavors together.
Yeah.
But I like them in a cake or a muffin or
I don't know.
A pastry.
It might be really good.
It might be.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure. Then there is a Halloween Blasty Shake. This is essentially their version of a DQ Blizzard. So they're made of vanilla ice cream and Halloween magic, which in this case means some non-dairy milk, some pumpkin puree, pumpkin pie spice, and sandwich cookies. And by those sandwich cookies, I think they mean Oreos.
Yep, most likely. So those are just some of the recipes that are in this wonderful and wonderfully put together e-cookbook. And I want everybody else to be able to have their copy.
Yeah, this is so cute.
Yes. So if you email us, send us an email, and in the subject line, I want you to put "dairy is scary," and I will respond with a PDF of this cookbook for you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, you can email that to compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com if you'd like to get your own copy of this wonderful cookbook.
There's a really fun graphic. There are a lot of really fun graphics in this book, but my favorite one so far is a question that asks, why did the vegan come back from the dead?
I don't know. Why did the vegan come back from the dead?
Well, there's a pie chart on the headstone, which I think is brilliant. And it looks like there's a zombie reaching up from out of the grave. So let's see. Starting with the lowest percentage reason, they came back for a SeaWorld protest. They forgot to take their B12. After that, we have they really wanted to try the new veggie burger. They're coming back because someone brought non-vegan food to their wake.
Oh, okay.
There was a stray dog in the cemetery. And finally, they needed to get the last word against an internet troll.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff.
There is. This is really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really cute.
Yeah, so send us that email if you want to get a copy of that.
Ooh, there's a recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip bread. Love that. Oh, this is just fun. So yeah, please email us, compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com, and Christine will respond with a PDF of this absolutely fabulous Humane Halloween cookbook.
Yes, because I want this to live on, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like a zombie cookbook because
No.
you can't find this online anymore.
Right.
So the fact that I have saved this from several years ago,
I love that.
I want to make sure that it gets shared out there because somebody put a whole lot of work into this.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. It's time now for our main topic. And we
we are visiting our friends at the Food Empowerment Project and taking a look at their updated chocolate list. So for those of you out there who want to know what chocolate to buy and what chocolate to stay away from, FEP is really the ultimate reference.
And not only can you find this online on their website, there's also an app that you can get and keep it on your phone so you can always have it. So if you're at the grocery store or you're someplace else and you're buying chocolate and you're not sure if this was, ethically sourced or did the company ethically source their chocolate, you can look on this app and it will tell you. It's really cool.
It is. So the list on this website reflects Food Empowerment Project's most recent research on companies that make vegan products containing chocolate to find out if they source their chocolates from areas where the worst forms of child labor and or slavery are the most prevalent. This can include personal care products, cafes, and bakeries, as well as those who sell wholesale. The list is not comprehensive as they continue to contact more companies and update the list as they receive responses. When they contact the companies, they only ask them about their vegan chocolate products. Again, all of the companies make vegan chocolate products, but they may also sell products with non-vegan chocolate. They do their best to provide accurate information, and we encourage you to read the ingredients just to be sure. Please note that the products on this list are sold in the United States unless indicated otherwise by countries in parentheses. However, many small vegan stores will carry chocolates from all over the world.
Yeah. And we're not going to read you this list because it's extensive.
It is.
They have chocolates that they feel comfortable recommending, and that list is, maybe over 100.
Oh, it's huge.
Companies.
It's absolutely huge.
Yeah. Then they have ones that have mixed reviews. Mm-hmm. And then they have companies that they cannot recommend. Companies that they cannot recommend because of other issues.
Right.
And I was sad to see the only company on that small portion of cannot recommend because of other issues is Orgain. And a lot of people use the Orgain vegan protein powder. And the reason you don't want to use that is because Nestle recently acquired Orgain.
No.
Yeah. And so now Nestle owns a majority stake in Orgain, and we all know that Nestle is on the bad part of this list.
Most certainly.
They will never admit that their chocolate is not ethically sourced, and they won't tell you how it's sourced at all.
Right. All right. Well, that's the end of Orgain protein for us.
Yeah.
Because we have used Orgain protein powder, and we were excited back in the summer that Orgain announced their Justin's nut butter flavored protein powder, which I have to admit,
we tried it and it was really good.
Amazing.
But now that
so good,
Nestle owns it, we will not be purchasing.
We will not
that
most
again.
Definitely not.
And I'm wondering how Justin's feels about that now.
I know.
You know,
like I'd be very interested to know what Justin's feels about that.
Yeah. So they have this list broken down in many, many categories. Companies that aren't responding, companies that responded that they still don't recommend, companies that have certificates but they still don't recommend because of certain reasons. Mm-hmm. And the work that goes into this, it's extensive. So I just want a big thank you to everybody at Food Empowerment Project for continuing to work on this and update it. Several times throughout the year, they will update this list and let you know that they've updated it. They have a link on here that tells you how to understand the chocolate list. Mm-hmm. So technology is not my friend today. I cannot change the Understanding the Chocolate List website from Espanol to Inglés. So, Sam, can you help me out here?
I can, but I just found something else in the list.
What's that?
Food Empowerment Project does not recommend Justin's nut butter.
Does it say why?
It just says cannot recommend. Hormel. Justin's as it
Hormel
sounds like
bought Justin's. You know, it's tough out there, people. These large corporate entities are scooping up all of our beloved small vegan brands.
Wow. And
It's so disheartening.
we didn't know about this. Apparently, this happened in 2017.
I had no idea.
Me either.
See, this is why we have to look at this list.
It is. It is. So let's talk about how to understand the FEP chocolate list. So how to interpret the list. First, there are chocolate companies that they recommend with confidence. These companies are transparent about the country of origin of the cocoa from which they make their vegan chocolate. The vast majority of these companies use cocoa that does not come from the areas with the highest prevalence of the worst forms of child labor and slavery. However, when purchasing cocoa from West Africa, workers have to own the companies and have control of the income they earn from their labor. If the company buys cocoa in Brazil, the workers must own the companies and have control of the income they earn from their work, or the companies must do their best to support the workers and their families. Child labor and slavery in cocoa farming is a phenomenon that has only recently been identified in Brazil, unlike in West Africa, where it has been widely used for decades. For this reason, we give the benefit of the doubt to Brazilian companies that are trying to support workers and their families. Then there is the combined category. This includes companies that make both a vegan chocolate that we do recommend and another that we do not recommend, depending on the country of origin of the cocoa they use. It is important that you examine the list of products under this category to ensure you are purchasing the ones we recommend. Then we have chocolate companies that FEP does not recommend. These are companies that offer vegan chocolates, but we know that they use cocoa from plantations located in the areas with the highest prevalence of the worst forms of child labor and slavery. These companies are either partly responsible for this problem, existing on such a large scale, or have shown that they are not interested in addressing it.
So then the companies that they cannot recommend, even if they have the certificate or initiatives that I was talking about, what does that mean?
These companies produce vegan chocolates and responded to FEP's inquiry, but currently purchase their cocoa in areas with a higher prevalence of slavery and child labor. They told us that they have a certification and that the company from which they buy the cocoa has a policy against acquiring it from plantations where child labor and slavery are practiced, or that they participate in an initiative that addresses this problem. If they sell certified chocolate, why then don't they appear on the list of companies we recommend? It's unfortunate, but all certifications have been found to be problematic. Certified plantations have been documented to practice the worst forms of child labor and slavery. There is little evidence that anyone ensures that certified plantations are up to standard. In one case, the requirement for clean toilets was marked as met on an assessment checklist, even though there were no toilets on any of the plantations.
Interesting.
There is also little documentation to suggest that the initiatives are having a significant impact on ending child labor and slavery practiced in this activity. The initiatives promoted by this industry often have vague goals and only reach a small percentage of producers.
Chocolate companies that they can't recommend, but at least they responded. That's pretty self-explanatory. So they reach out to all of these companies, and sometimes they respond, at least they respond, but they put them on the list and tell you at least that they responded.
Yes.
You know?
So these are companies that produce vegan chocolate and informed FEP that they source cocoa from West Africa or Brazil. FEP appreciates their transparency, but the companies don't appear on their list because they source cocoa from areas with the highest prevalence of the worst forms of child labor, including slavery.
Yeah.
Then there is a list of companies that FEP does not recommend because they refuse to disclose their cocoa supplier. So lack of transparency towards
Hershey.
consumers. Yeah, Hershey, Nestle,
among
etc.
others,
Yes,
yeah.
some of the biggest
Yeah.
chocolate companies in the world.
Yeah, some of the biggest producers, which is why vegans shouldn't be excited when, things like vegan Kit Kats come out or vegan Reese cups or
Right, exactly.
those sorts of things.
There's also a list of companies that FEP does not recommend because they didn't respond to their inquiry. So in other words, not enough information to recommend them.
Right. They're not being transparent.
Right. And there are some companies that have been crossed out. Although a company may meet the criteria defined above, there may be other reasons why FEP does not consider it appropriate to recommend it, such as serious violations of workers' rights. FEP's desire is to act as transparently as possible and to inform consumers that chocolate meets our criteria. However, if you are interested in other issues, FEP provides a link that will give you access to more detailed information that will help you make your own decision about whether or not to purchase the company's products.
Yeah. So that's good that they give those explanations.
It is.
Because the list, there's several categories that are a little hard to understand. You know, why is that company within that category and not just either recommended or not recommended?
Right.
So, like I said, there is an app that you can get either on the Google Play or the Apple App Store, and you can just punch in the name of the company that's creating the chocolate that you're trying to purchase, and you can figure out if it's, you know, something that you should be purchasing. So,
and is that an FEP specific app?
it is.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I need to get that. I just want to say that I appreciate FEP keeping such an extensive list of chocolate makers all over the world that, you know, that they can recommend as being ethical companies, not just places that make vegan chocolate, because that's great that people are making vegan chocolate. That's wonderful. As a chocolate lover, I'm sincerely grateful that vegan chocolate exists.
Yeah.
I don't want to support companies that are exploiting workers in any way. And that, of course, includes child labor. That's very simply unacceptable. And so, yeah, it's really great for me to know where to put my money and where not to put my money. I am very sad that I didn't look more closely at the list for Justin's nut butter before this.
Yeah, and Orgain, that's sad.
It is, but you know what? We now know to exclude them, and I will start looking for a different protein powder.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that something as happy as chocolate is so riddled with terrible
injustice.
Yeah, I mean, just slave labor, child labor, that people's lives are being ruined by this industry that provides something that is supposed to bring joy to people.
Yes.
Right?
Couldn't agree more.
The same thing happens in the coffee industry. Like Sam said, I'm just so thankful that places like Food Empowerment Project are taking these things seriously and making it easier for us to decide whether we want to support a company by buying their products or not.
Indeed.
Thank you, FEP. It's time now for our Assignment Restaurant SOS.
This week, we are celebrating Tiny Vegan, located at 104 South Shepherd Street, Richmond, Virginia. Tiny Vegan was established in 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic as a mobile takeout restaurant. The Tiny Scamp Camper turned food truck was a huge success with a fan following. Woman-owned and operated with a 100% vegan menu and gluten-free options, the proteins and meat alternatives are made from scratch in the Tiny Takeout Kitchen located at 104 South Shepherd Street in Richmond. Everything they do is cruelty-free, whole foods, they don't do fried foods, and they bake fresh daily with a quality over quantity mindset.
I love that.
I do too.
And I just love the name Tiny Vegan.
It is. It's adorable.
Which, with it being that scamp camper, I can see why they were originally called Tiny Vegan.
What a cute storefront.
It kind of reminds me of a place that used to be in Buffalo called Big Mood. Mm-hmm. It's kind of got that vibe to it. Let's look at their menu.
Let's. Oh, well, already I'm excited about the breakfast burrito.
We're always excited about breakfast burritos.
This is so true.
Breakfast burrito with sausage, egg, cheddar cheese, black beans, spinach, hash browns. Got to put a hash brown in a breakfast burrito.
You do. And pickled jalapeno sour cream.
Right?
That just sounds fantastic.
So it's got a bit of a kick, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I'm loving about this, like they have a very small breakfast menu and a very small lunch menu. But I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, we've said it before, and I'm sure we'll say it again. A small menu of things that a restaurant does really, really well.
Yeah.
Like, like Nice Biscuit in Syracuse, for instance.
Gosh, brilliant.
They have a very small menu, but everything they do on it is done so well.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the lunch menu, I'm already excited about the Cash Wrap, which I'm assuming is their take on the Crunch Wrap.
Oh, okay.
And so they've got a seasoned vegan beef, a hash brown patty, black beans, nacho cheese, corn tostada, lettuce, tomato, and pickled jalapeno, and sour cream. You can also get that gluten-free as a bowl.
That's awesome. They have tons of
great.
gluten-free options. And I'm interested in this pressed Cuban, which I'm assuming is a panini. Mm-hmm. So it's vegan ham, smoked Gouda, dill pickle, yellow mustard, and mayo. That sounds really
beautiful.
good to me.
They've also got a classic Italian sub.
Yeah.
A classic Italian sub. Now, it's so funny because I was never into Italian subs pre-veganism.
Yeah.
But one of the best sandwiches I've had since we've gone vegan was that Italian sub that I got at, was it Nono's?
Nono's in Hamilton, Ontario.
In Hamilton Market. Mm-hmm. So ridiculously good. It's so funny that I suddenly like the vegan versions of meats that I wouldn't even consider eating.
Yeah.
Before we went vegan.
Right.
Like, that's hysterical. And so now, like, looking at their Italian sub, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be good. And so that is their turkey, ham, pepperoni, tomato, lettuce, smoked Gouda, red onion, cherry pepper mayo, oil, vinegar, salt and pepper on 5-grain bread. That sounds outstanding.
It does sound good. Yeah. And if you are ever in the Hamilton, Ontario area, don't miss
Nono's.
Nono's.
It's so good.
Yeah, get yourself a sandwich at Nono's. They make all of their vegan meats in-house, and they're fantastic.
They're amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, Tiny Vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've been to Tiny Vegan in Richmond, Virginia, please send us a picture of your meal and let us know what you got there. And we'll enter you in to win a gift card from Tiny Vegan in our vegan dinner winner contest. It's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout-out time.
It's listener shout-out.
Just want to give a shout-out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout-out goes to KH Landsman. KH is a recent subscriber to our weekly newsletter. Thanks, KH.
Yeah, thanks for subscribing. And please send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag. You can text us using the link in our show notes. You can email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com or simply DM us on Instagram or Facebook. And
for the rest of you out there, if you want a listener shout out, please text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also always nominate someone else for a shout out. Remember, friends, the gifting season will soon be upon us.
Yes.
And this is a great way to give a gift.
A shout out as a gift?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
That's kind of awesome.
I like that. Now, like the mummy, it is time to wrap this up.
Cute.
But before we go, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app and subscribe to our YouTube. You can share the show with a friend or a family member if you really want to help us out, because it'll help us reach more great people like you. Also, be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates about the show, pics of all the vegan food that we find or make, and more. And if you want to get news about upcoming episodes, you can do that by subscribing to our weekly newsletter at compassionandcucumbers.com.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 205 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion. On the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We do. Bye-bye.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.